Stream. Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, probably Peter. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can indeed. Let me start sharing my screen. Get this NA production underway. And there we have it. I just realized I have the teams on the wrong sides.
5, 4, 3,
Yeah, I'm already getting into it. We're
round
opting to try and start this one real quick. But yeah, UHart Red is going to be on the right side here, and Madison Wolfpack is the blue team, starting off on Lijiang Day Market.
So, it's been a bit of a kind of a strict, crazy start. One of the first things we noticed when we joined the match today was Nift and Rhino, two players on opposite teams, hitting it up in the general chat. Apparently they played on a team called Squid Squad a few years ago. So
Yeah.
oh, there we go. Nift starting the game off hot, finds the headshot. Oxygen finds the trade. The enemy Winston still has yet to die. It's brought extremely low. We see Become Base trying to go in deep. Super Vader finds the pick onto Oxygen. Trauma now being fully healed up. And now Winston and Kiriko, only two that remain. Kiriko follows Winston. Last one standing, just trying to stall this as long as they can while they still have the control. And actually, as I say that, he pulls out the Primal Rage just to keep this contest going. I was surprised he managed to build that ultimate and pop it all in that quick time span.
Yeah, it seems like the Winston on the side of Mohawk here. Wow, sorry. Madison Wolfpack here is playing a little bit more passively, but getting a lot of cleave damage done, but not check chasing and getting the final kills. As Super Vader is getting 2 kills in the last fight. So a little bit more of an aggressive style coming from UHart, maybe from the hectic start, but that was a very good stall there on the side of Trauma.
Oh! Both Sojourns brought dangerously low. Nift finds 2 with his overclock to the 0 of Oxygen. Now Reaper is surely gonna fall next. Kiriko close, looking to teleport out. They didn't see her. Oh!
Oh, wow. Apparently skinny enough to be able to hide there long enough to get the swift step out and rejoin the rest of her team. That was a very good overclock on the side of Nift, playing incredibly patiently with his aim style, opting to just hit the body when necessary, and getting 2 very clean and effective kills during that fight.
They traded 2 ults for 1 ult, plus the Primal Rage, which was beat toward the end. Now Kitsune rushes coming out from both sides. We see Kumbelix getting really aggressive, and he manages to stay alive. And then a massive Death Blossom from Become Based. The follow-up of Super Vader manages to clean up the entire team in a snap.
I hate to be the analyst that actually puts things out that are wrong in the game, but did both gates just come up as blue?
I don't know. I didn't see that, but it's possible.
It's possible. It just might have been a trick of the eye. As we're going to start another fight here really quickly.
Oh,
Trauma getting in deep.
It's taken out immediately. Blue finds 2 with his Death Blossom. And I think Hartford might just be pulling out early here. Both the DPS
this should be a snap
still
for this
alive for
game.
Hartford, but yeah. Nift just trying to farm up some overclock before he gets fully sent back to the spawn room with the rest of his team.
It seemed like they had gotten out of the fight really quickly. The team, the Madison Wolfpack, deciding to go to point there and ignore the final kills. But it seems like they stayed in a little bit longer, maybe to build up ult charge themselves. But they're definitely giving ult charge to Madison here. So as they tick up, that could be really important.
Now Super Vader gets blown away as Oxygen also finds a headshot onto Become Base. Kumbelix falls dangerously low. Lucio brought to 1 HP. Blue takes him out as well. And Nift, the only member managing to stay alive for the side of Hartford during that fight.
And this is such a strong chokehold to be in, especially with the Winston placed up on top. That Winston on the side of UHart just getting deleted instantaneously with a quick headshot onto Nift right afterwards. Sorry, not Nift, onto the other DPS. But
now, coming into last fight territory, Sound Barrier comes out in exchange for the overclock. And on top of that, the Sound Barrier for Madison. And overclock finally able to be pulled. Trying to find kills, can't quite land the shots. Takes out the Reaper. Winston brought low, but has the Primal Rage. And
they're going to have to touch us 3 seconds.
I don't think anyone's going to be able to make it. Maybe Super Vader, not quite close enough. And Madison Wolfpack take round number 1 of Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and the final fight there, elongating longer than UHart actually wanted to, providing them not a lot of time to be able to get to the point. Nift not finding a lot with that overclock in the end there. And the positioning on the retake was really difficult for UHart, and I think that was up to Madison Wolfpack's really good usage of choke there, and just they were pumping damage the second that anybody came through, and they were not coming through coordinated enough on the side of UHart to really punch through and deactivate that stronghold they had.
Now, coming into this next round, I think a big notable difference might just be the Symmetra start. We see Blue using the Symmetra teleporter team further forward and then swapping to the Reaper. So Hartford will have a minor numbers advantage, but they're not going to have any time to take advantage, unfortunately.
Yeah, a man advantage that they don't take advantage of. The sad sight to see as White is easily taken by Madison here.
Now, with this this composition, the White Room high ground isn't quite as, I'd say, dominant as it is in other metas and other compositions. Largely just having space control, your Sojourn being able to take these off angles, and just like that, we see Nift abusing the off angle, finding the kill onto Oxygen, and as more and more of Madison seem to be getting taken out here.
And I see exactly what you mean. That off-angle approach from middle was huge for Nift to be able to use the Sojourn, hit the rails from the opposite side, and just pressure them out of a singular location, providing multiple angles of attack, meaning that they can't really just sit still in white, making it kind of useless.
Become base takes out Rhino immediately, and now Nift finds another headshot onto Blue of the Reaper, and I think they're just gonna look to finish off these last two people while they're here, maybe. As I say that, seems like the call to back off was made.
Yeah, I think that's a large respect call on the side of the Sojourn. You do have to be careful. Random or even premeditated rails can really end up negating any type of chokehold that you have here.
A great Winston bubble comboed with a powerful slow field. Instantly removes one. Become Base finds two with the Death Blossom again. Nift, another railgun into TMG. Super Vader finishes off the last member of the Madison Wolfpack. And we're looking into we're already at 50% for the side of Hartford, and Death Blossom was the only ultimate used so far.
And that was an effective use of Death Blossom there, especially because it seems to have kept the Lucio at a very low amount to beat. Only 70 on beat with Blackout holding on, and this is going to be a huge ult fight here.
Precisely. A massive Kitsune rush. Manages to find one, and the Kiriko brought dangerously low. Still alive until just now. And that's a full team kill yet again, with one ultimate used on the side of Hartford. They're going to have the Overclock, Primal Rage, and Sound Barrier for this last defensive hold.
And the barrier still isn't online on the side of Rhino, and they could get it this fight, but Overclock is coming out fast, and UHart's ult economy is doing fantastic.
No, and he couldn't find any shots with it. And now, Super Vader with the Primal Rage, looking to disrupt the Sojourn. Sojourn has the Sound Barrier to cover from the help of Rhino. Blue charges up the Overclock, or sorry, the Death Blossom, pops it, doesn't find quite as much purchase perhaps as he was hoping for, and Super Vader is still alive, killing these final members, but Become Based. Oh my god, are they gonna win this still?
That was absolutely incredible. Super Vader going completely invisible on the point there. But the Kiriko goes huge with the headshot there. TMG putting him down.
Kiriko, the only surviving member. They were brought to 1 HP, and neither of the DPS were able to find that last shot to secure the final kills. And we're gonna see the Madison Wolfpack regrouping to a full 5v5 for this final fight.
Yeah, Tiny Meat Gang with the huge hit right there. Those final two kills absolutely important. That 1v2 clutch situation, really big for them, as UHart's going to re-engage here. They only need one fight.
And they're going to have this Death Blossom online, which, knowing Become Base, might be big. It doesn't find anything. He gets taken out immediately. Super Vader falls right after him. Nift now just looking for a railgun, but he's going to be forced down. And that was... not as much as they were hoping to get out of Eat Death Blossom, but...
Well, I think it was a huge disengagement on the side of Madison here. I believe it was also a huge boop. The supports coming alive here between TMG and Rhino, getting back into their own, building their own charge as well, as it's going to be necessary in this fight. This UHart is coming in heavy, but Oxygen just takes out Nift immediately.
Now, again, 4v5 situation for Hartford. They're looking to try and control this space while they have it, but they don't want to force anything too dangerously. Slowfield comes out very early on the side of Madison, and the gates come out from TNJ, sound barrier from Blackout, and Overclock got popped, but didn't find anything with it.
Balky just managed to find a headshot of the Oxygen, however, but the Primal is still up, forcing them back, and that's going to take out Blackout. Yeah, and UHart is just pushed all the way back into their spawn, having to use an Overclock here on the side of a beat.
We're down at
as
90%.
Rhino pop. Wow, and they have to go in touch at this point. 5 seconds left on the clock. They're forcing them back though.
Super Vader pulled out the Primal Rage, able to get this stall, and now... Okay, and there we go. Hartford coming alive when it matters the most. Oh, Death Blossom! Comes out,
Huge
finds
Death
two!
Blossom, but Blue finds two!
It's just Reaper and Lucio, or sorry, Kiriko versus a Winston, and oh! He got shut down! Reaper versus a Winston, Lucio now. Oh, this is looking bad for Super Vader as Blue comes alive and clutches it out once again for his team as the Madison College Wolfpack take game number 1 in our best of 5 series.
And that was an electric match all the way through. TMG pulling up with incredible kills, but Blue here with the play of the game. Most likely the end Blossom here. Exactly, at the 99, the Blossom finds 2, 1 right afterwards. A clean headshot, I believe, onto the Reaper as he pops his ult as well. Oh, you could hear the sound go off, and that's just tragic on the side of UHart, but an incredibly well-played game on the side of Madison. Really half-court Andes. Like, you get to 50%, and you swap to Madison. Madison is going to clutch up and does a very good job of holding position and keeping the point alive. They've done fantastic of that.
Now, waiting for this next map coming up, it's going to be Paraíso. From what we've seen of Hartford, I've been quite happy with their performance on Paraíso. We know from previous experience, Lijiang Tower has been a bit of a difficulty, so having a more comfort pick coming into map number 2, I am a little hopeful, a little more confident for the how this is going to turn out for the team.
Absolutely, they get to play a little bit faster, potentially play other characters, but with this meta right now, it's most likely going to be a lot of the same, and Winston works out well on high ground, being able to move around and have a lot of modularity and play style, which Paraíso definitely provides for this University of Hartford team.
As the map...
And it could be the spelling of their own doom or them rising back up to the top and changing the momentum of this game. Regardless, however, both teams are playing rather well, but it just comes down to these final moments, and Madison is coming out on top on those. Once again, just watching the replay on stream here, 90-second delay, an incredible Death Blossom to finish off that game on Lijiang, putting Madison Wolfpack at 1, and UHart clambering behind, trying to put up a number on the scoreboard here.
Now, as you're talking about that, I am actually trying to do multiple production aspects all at the same time. I'm trying to get a clip of the clutch coming out from Madison Wolfpack.
That could in fact be good. And if you would like to help out with the clipping process or any other part of the production, including just being a vital member of chat, check out twitch.tv/EricCulver. We stream these games live whenever we can. There's going to be 2 seasons for this UHart team. This current roster, one coming up in spring, but we are currently in playoffs for NACE Star League. I don't know exactly which game this is. I believe it's the second in the series, second in the playoff run. And UHart is doing very well so far. Hopefully taking another here against Madison Wolfpack. But with clutch plays like that, they really are giving them a run for their money, as UHart's going to have to attack really well here on Paraíso. Looking to play a lot of the same things with the slight 5-second addition of Nift on Widow to start here.
As we always like to do, if we see the Nifto maker, always gonna go over to the spectator cam for it.
Well, it's Nifty Difty, so we're gonna look for and just barely miss.
Doesn't quite find the purchase, as some people like to say. Clip has been made. Now I can focus on the caster, as looks like TMG just gets taken out immediately.
Yeah, it took a lot of damage, and then just fall damage from Super Vader coming in. Become base, finding a headshot onto Trauma. Rhino falls down.
1 HP, why? Okay, well.
That's aggressive.
Oxygen, all that's left in Hartford. cleanly takes or the first objective, sorry, but Become Based popped off, but he also kind of fed, so mixed reviews from my side.
And thus is the duality of Demoy, the player currently playing on Become Based. It does happen, and you know, whether or not it's intentional or not, those big moments can be very huge. But to ebb and flow like that throughout a match like this, the thing you would rather want is consistency. As Trauma gets aggressive here, this is definitely a forward hold, as they're kind of just standing out in main.
See the pings coming out from Super Vader, trying to look for that Sojourn. He's getting chunked really low. Doesn't have the sight lines for his support to keep him alive, so he opts to jump back, play it safe, and take a second looking for how they want to approach this. We see them wrapping around, trying to just control this high ground area, giving them some position to dive from.
And Super Vader using the jump to get onto that. Oh, that Reaper that does go down to Become Based, deciding to give up the left side to just sort of immediately rush main. And like I said, that's a very aggressive far up hold on the side of Madison. I believe that UHart expected them to go back. Become Based already finding 2, and then Galaxy and Nif finishing off the antipode of their equals on the other team. A beautiful sight to see. And I hope a correct usage of antipode there. I do believe though. But that was a very good fight from the side of UHart, opting to change their strategy halfway through and just go kill what's on cart.
Couple ultimates coming online for this next fight. We have the Death Blossom almost. We have the Kitsune Rush. We're close to almost all ultimates, I should say, from Hartford.
Wow, and the overclock comes out on the side of Madison, but they don't find anything, and Rhino goes down.
Oh, and there's
Blossom
a
comes out to
powerful
finish.
Rush Blossom. Sojourn, only player remaining, and that's going to be another clean team kill for the side of Hartford.
Yeah, that's one ultimate for 2, and the way that they're playing this aggressive forward style is also preventing the other team from getting ultimates. Though the economy math might not work out perfectly, definitely is working in the favor of UHart here, as they're pushing all the way to 3rd point here. Paraíso, known for its capacity to just completely steamroll, but they gotta be careful with low healers.
Gets brought dangerously low, manages to slide up, but I don't know if they'll be able to live this. As
I don't
Blue
think so
finds
either.
2, now Nif just trying to slide around, put some shots in, but he gets taken out. And what is going on over here with the blackout?
Trying to get out, goes the wrong direction towards the wrong spawn, but is back to group up with the rest of his team. Madison respecting the spawn advantage that UHart naturally has and giving them that space back.
Now Blackout looking to get aggressive, chasing this Kiriko down, forces out a Suzu, and that alone is major value.
Yeah, and that's money right there, as Super Vader goes in really hard and finds one with the Primal. They call him the Primal Blade with the amount of damage he's able to do during it. Getting healed back up to full here. Now, it was a sloppy fight, so there are some picks to be picked off here. So Lucio's still on this left side here. They could absolutely engage, but Madison does wait until they have everybody back. And this Rush Blossom coming in, it doesn't find anything!
No, not at all, but the sound barrier from from Blackout is there. Just like always, this man has improved so much with the sound barriers just in the last week or 2. It's fantastic to see. Now this Winston getting very aggressive. Super Vader for the side of Hartford, just trying to hold the space while he can.
And with the Sojourn up, they're going to push a little bit, try and find a headshot just like that, but that's going to be a body. Kiriko brought incredibly low, but they might have to get out of this fight here. As Blue finds another, however, being able to continue this spawn hold. This is a very powerful choke if they can continue to work it, and they're doing so much damage. Nift completely DCs for some reason, some sort of AFK malfunction potentially, but that's another 3 kills found in the spawn on the side of UHart. They're still trying to attack here on 3rd point, but they're stuck in their spawn.
Now, it seems like everything's okay on the side of Nift over here. Back to the moving world, as we like to say. Powerful slow field coming out. Winston bubble from the side of the Wolfpack. Negates a lot of it, but Kitsune Rush comes out, and they find 2 off the back of it. Lucio brought to 1 HP. All that remains is him and the Kiriko. Kiriko follows Lucio, left alone on the payload, just trying to stall it out for as much as he can, and he eventually is taken out. Ultimates online include the sound barrier close, not quite, both damage ults and a primal rage for the side of Hartford, versus support ults and primal rage with a Death Blossom. And
we're gonna see how these oh wow, and the overclock comes out immediately. I was gonna say how these ults flow, but they're flowing incredibly well.
Oh my lord. Does he find a
with
third?
a nasty little flick.
Doesn't quite land the headshot onto the Lucio, but puts a ton of bullets into him. Oh, almost gets the Ajax. Not
Almost gets
quite
the Ajax,
there
but
for
Lucio's
it.
gonna be low. continue to focusing, but swaps over to the Winston. Dies
Powerful
to
Death Blossom. Finds the body shot, good enough maybe. Rest of the Wolfpack are forced down. Kiriko, only
James
player,
is alive.
remember, TMG, finally falls. Now Winston just gonna do his best to get here for the overtime. Super Vader with the body block. And that was a good bubble, but he's falling. Blue with the Death Blossom once again, trying to clutch it up like he did in the previous round. It seems to be a 4v3. This is super winnable for the Wolfpack as Oxygen comes back on the Tracer. And this is pure chaos. None of the ults remaining for the side of Hartford to press this advantage, and the respawns are just too powerful. Nift trying to make some magic happen, but now he's fallen to a 1v5, and the Wolfpack managed to live another day on their defense. Every second drain now is a second that Hartford could have had in their time bank for an overtime situation.
Absolutely, but they do force them off onto the Tracer, which could be big for them here, not providing as much damage as a Sojourn or the headshot ability. That was very close for the University of Hartford, but they're going to have to opt for another push here. In a better position because of that hero swap. Let's see how it works out. Winston's getting very aggressive.
Oh! The Tracer of Oxygen was there in a perfect prime position to land a massive pulse bomb, but they just whip it straight through all of the teammates of Hartford. Finds nothing with it, and Tracer just kind of off on their own right now, not getting nearly as much value as might hope. Winston brought down to 1 HP, finally gets taken out by an aggressive dive from Super Vader. Kitsune Rush comes out from TMG, and Death Blossom there just trying to clean up the rest of the kills. Kitsune Rush gives him that extra little speed boost. He gets the Ajax onto Rhino, and now there is nothing left on the side of the Wolfpacks, except maybe a potential Death Blossom, if they can even stall long enough for him to get back and build that 20%. Final kill is just coming down. Oxygen, TMG, Blue is back. He's up to 5%. He might be able to get this online. Is he going to? Oh, he's so close! He doesn't find it. All 5 members of Hartford there just to shut him down before he can go for it. Trauma tries coming back on the wrecking ball, but it's just a hair too late. And Hartford clutches it out with still 9 seconds in their time bank, guaranteeing them an offensive attempt if it comes to that for an overtime.
Yeah, and that is important for them to put on their backs, especially after they did not get the last cap earlier in the fight with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. They then managed to cap with only 9 remaining. But that Andrew Jackson was very large, and besides that, I think the aggression on the side of UHart has been very solid throughout the match, but it did definitely dwindle towards the end, which could spell a large problem within the ranks of University of Hartford. Especially with the way in which the other team is playing when at full capacity, when playing in meta and everything like that. So keeping that in mind, the University of Hartford still has to be careful. It's not like this is a done deal as Madison Wolfpack gets the opportunity to attack here.
All right, I have a question. You used the phrase the Andrew Jackson. So that's a term we use in Frisbee all the time when you get a massive defensive play. Why did you choose to use it right now?
Andrew Jackson is referring to Ajax. The A stands for Andrew, and the Jax stands for Jackson. The Ajax, obviously, everyone knows that Ajax comes from Overwatch, but oftentimes used ahead of time to refer to Andrew Jackson back during, I believe it was a Spanish war at the time, when he had beat and lost it before it hit the ground, not providing any of his troops or soldiers with a beat, which
Now,
critically
I'd like
lost in the
to
fight.
add another follow-up. Are you aware that there was a player named Ajax? That Ajax is named after?
No, like a football player or something?
Like a Contenders Overwatch player.
Named Ajax. No, that goes over the top of my head as the Winston's going to go over top here, but then the Uzi was going to get deleted. This fight is definitely being started as the come base finds 2.
Pummeling them all. And Winston might be the lone survivor, and come base really probably just getting bullied in the comms. Hey, yo, don't chase that, but he wanted it. You could tell it in his eyes.
I think that was, however, a very aggressive macro play from Oxygen on the side of Madison Wolfpack, staying with the Widow for potentially too long, even getting a little deep and nasty up on that front bridge where you see the Winston right now on the side of UHart. An aggressive play, but they do swap over immediately over the Sojourn with a 30% ult charge, which is not bad. Blue is incredibly low. They're stuck in this corridor right now, which is great for a Reaper, but not good for a Winston facing a Reaper.
Woo.
Become base brought really low, but Super Vader's the one that's taken out, and Oxygen manages to sneak behind and kill the Lucio. That's 2 down on the side of UHart. Nift manages to trade, keeping it at 2 down, with only a support and a Reaper up. That's probably going to be a loss for the University of Hartford, managing to defend the first point for longer than Madison did, but still ceding the point to Madison here with 3 men on the point. Well, 1 standing above, looking for some angles, but opts not to.
At the end of the day, it's not that funny, is it?
What isn't funny?
I don't know. It's just a funny TikTok.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
No. Now
TikTok's
we see the Death Blossom online. We're coming up on a Kitsune rush for both teams as well as Overclock. Death Blossom though, the first to be fully charged. Really looking forward to see how they opt to use this. As Nift finds a railgun into the body of Trauma. This is a massive advantage here.
But they're still pushing cart. They're not taking that space. Unlike Madison trying to hold too aggressive and close, even with a pick here.
Why are they not playing aggressive right now? They're in a 5v6 advantage. Perhaps,
well, I think that they have, sorry, a 5v4 advantage.
Yeah. Perhaps they were just waiting to, hit them with this powerful ult combo that they went with, but I really think they didn't need to wait this long.
I think it's actually good for them to have waited this long. I think it was the problem that Madison had when they were defending was that they held a little bit too close. And that area, that long corridor where the cart payload is currently backing off of, as opposed to holding up on this high ground where UHart is properly holding, that is night and day difference when it comes to positional and macro plays that are available to the team. And I think that they opted rather intelligently to wait for the Blossom, wait for it to be in the right position, and set for a full team reset rather than them coming back scattered. As the Rush Blossom does come out on the side of Madison, coming up out top, only finding 1, but Galaxy, the Kiriko, is a major source of heals not being provided to the team right now.
Overclock coming out on the side of Hartford by Nif, just finding plenty of body shots. And now Oxygen with the Overclock of their own. Background advantage might be enough, but no final blows are found for our good friend Nift here, as Blue takes out Blackout. And Super Vader falls deep in the back lines. Nift able to take him out before the sound barrier can save his life. And that single pick on the Winston is going to be a massive changing, game-changing pick for a recontest attempt.
Absolutely, but only if their Winston can get back in time. Super Vader booking it right now, getting incredibly close, within 5 meters, within a second. But that's going to be a beat coming out from Blackout. Immediately finds his equal on Rhino. Oxygen managed to take a headshot onto Become Base though, but Blue not being able to do the same as Nift deals with him in the backline. Vader dangerously low, but TMG brought out with a beautiful body shot on the side of Nift. Incredible Sojourn. That Sojourn very low. Standing still, Omegi's, but does not manage to live much longer.
Pure confidence from Nift as he went for that 1v1 duel. He had no doubt that he was going to be able to find all the body shots and, take out Oxygen.
Yeah, as you know, the classic meme, the Chad Sojourn who continues to move in a 1v1 versus the Virgin Sojourn that decides to stand still. As once again, they're going to force himself into this corridor. Madison getting very low in there, using a rush to potentially get out here. And that's a rush. No, that's a Blossom on the side of UHart. Become Base finding 2. That was huge. Rhino 1 HP.
Able to find a Super Vader there for the follow-up. And now, I believe it's just a Winston and perhaps a Kiriko alive. Down to just a Winston. I apologize, it was a Sojourn alive. And Hartford cleans it up. This is, I believe, the second game in a row where it's been a close series where Hartford took them to Paraíso on map 2 and just dominated the second point defense.
Absolutely, and this second point defense, I do genuinely think comes down to exactly the position in which they're holding. Become Base was just huge with that Blossom. He even confused me, but Oxygen going for a flank here, overclocking early, looking for headshots here, trying to negate this high ground that they have. Become Base running right into him with no ring!
Nif, oh, there we are. Nif with an overclock of their own finds all the purchase he could imagine. And it's just a primal raging Winston, and this is last fight territory with no ultimates online and a massive defensive advantage for the side of Hartford.
Yeah, not only positionally, but ult economy as well. As they're going to have a Primal Winston as well as a Beat online rather soon, much sooner than any of the ultimates besides potentially Blue on the Reaper having Blossom. Remember, they have to get there. They have to get the Reaper there, and that's going to be a very hard thing to do up against the position that UHart is holding here. As the Reaper playing Parkour Simulator on the left side, going in opposite direction as the blue team comes from the
Barrier
left.
almost online. Lucio doing everything he can to live. He has it charged. He has it charged. He pulls it out. Almost gets the Ajax. Keeps himself alive. Now Super Vader able to push aggressively. Blue with the Death Blossom. Oh, Kiriko teleports out of the way. Super Vader chases him down. Winston and Reaper
is still
the
alive.
only two alive. But is it going to be enough? I don't think it will. Blue brought the 1 HP. Both DPS and the Sojourn alive. Finds one. Won't find the second.
Musio and Sojourn might be able to get back, but a good displacement on the side of the Sojourn from the Winston there, pushing him back just a meter. Potentially the reason why they didn't touch again, but that was a very dominant hold on the side of UHart, kind of putting on a clinic on how to hold on second there.
That was... it's just so much fun watching Hartford play second line defense. Also, I'd like to say, the Kitsune Rush was the only reason that Become Base got that kill on the Kiriko. And if he doesn't find that kill, who knows how that fight plays out.
Absolutely.
That just minor... the minor speed boost that was provided, just a game-changing situation. Now I'm going to do the good old score update.
And that was a very, very good change in momentum, change in pace. Maybe not all the way swinging to the side of UHart, but definitely bringing them back to a more neutral, pendular, middle position as they do go up.
Tied.
1-1. Sorry, back to a tie. 1-1 between University of Hartford and Madison College Wolfpack. Very interesting position to be in right now. And I think at this point it's important to mention a certain constraint that the University of Hartford has that they might be mulling over currently. They have one player that's currently on their roster, playing right now, who has to leave, sadly, at 7:50. There was another commitment that they had to go to. They are not able to get out of. That does take priority over this. So they have to weather a storm that is coming, and they know that it's coming at a very specific time. Do they opt to swap out Galaxy early? Do they decide to keep him in and potentially have him miss whatever he's supposed to go to? Is he going to make that audible call last second? A lot of questions on the mind of UHart's upper management and staff to be able to decide whether or not they are going to let one of their crucial players, as Galaxy is the starting main support, I believe, flex support for the University of Hartford. It could be a real big game changer, regardless of what happens as we do come up on that time crunch, as it is 7:39 right now. So, an interesting prospect for the University of Hartford here. They're going to have to finish this game early, and because of the first loss, no matter what, they're probably going to have to play one game with Galaxy down, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do that.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this game to continue. This is quite the good series so far. 1-1 right off the bat. It's always fun to see. I would have loved to have seen, Hartford taking map number 1, followed by taking map number 2, but you can't get everything in life, and, well, Hartford's learned that the hard way by losing map number 1 and hitting the return.
But the hard way is the way that the Hartford team wants to go, and that's understandable. Having all of the pressure, having the designation to crawl back from wherever you've been, only to succeed feels much sweeter as a victory than anything else. And yeah, I do think that they are going to be swapping out Galaxy here for another member of their team, as University of Hartford simply can't mess around with that time crunch that they're all in. And that sucks, but definitely a deep roster here. University of Hartford has a lot of players, I think upwards of 12 or 11 total. Obviously not all of them could be here, and not all of them are support players. So it'll be interesting to see who fills and to what capacity they are able to affect the flow of the game here. Hopefully it's not too much to Hartford's detriment, as we are preparing to go into the third map here at a 1-1 between Madison College Wolfpack and UHart Red. Does seem like it's going to be Circuit Royale. An interesting map, one that we have a lot of history on, don't we?
I'm quite curious to see what, what composition Hartford, excuse me again, opts into playing. We know, oop, okay, funny haha banter coming out from Rhino. um, but as I was saying, I'm curious to see what composition Hartford opts into playing. We know that, like every other team, they've been primarily running the Winston, Kiriko, Reaper, Sojourn, uh, Lucio. I don't think I said that yet. They've primarily run that comp, but uh, on Circuit Royale with the longer sightlines, a lot of teams opt into Widowmakers, Hanzos, sometimes Ashes, and a Sigma. A lot of times you might see a Baptiste and a Zenyatta as well. Um, Now, with that being said, Orimuru, the past like 12, 24 hours since being told he was going to be put onto this support role, um, he has been putting a lot of his focus into the Kiriko. So I'd like to just see, is he opting to stick with that Kiriko, or is he going to swap over to either a Baptiste or a Zenyatta?
I would love to see that, especially on this map, because it can be so strong, and especially because Orimoro, I do believe, has a lot more experience when it comes to playing DPS. The Zenyatta option, or even the Baptiste option, provides a large amount of damage capability, one that could be a large difference maker, especially in long-range fights in which you're not taking a lot of sustained damage, but rather taking a lot of burst poke damage. The style of play that does fit a DPS moving over to that support role. Which, speaking of which, that's something that you've had to do in the past. How have you felt when it comes to that major change of going from a DPS role and position into a main support position, especially last minute like this?
I think the hardest part of swapping roles that most people who haven't had to do it before might not consider is, um, while you may be equally like talented at a position based like mechanics wise, landing your sleep darts versus landing your widow headshots, such and such. Um, Something that comes with just continued practice on a specific role is just a lack of needing to think about it, where something just becomes muscle memory, which largely comes into like positioning and decision making, less so than mechanical skill. So when you play a character or a set of characters consistently, a lot of the tougher decision making just becomes second nature. So with it being second nature, you can put more of your thought and focus into um, the team aspects, such as communication and making game plans. So swapping roles can drastically reduce your impact as a team, which is something that can really be hard for players that are new to that are swapping over to a new role.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that first-hand account of somebody who's had to go through a very similar instance, collegiate player who goes from damage over to support last second, and it could be a lot of it could spell trouble for the University of Hartford here. But I'm confident in the practice and the reps that they got early as they possibly could when they received the information that they would have to play. Orimaru, our friend Joseph, stepping up here, and a big step up. A lot of pride has to, fall on those shoulders to be able to step in this position and do what they need to do. We'll see how they do, as they are going to start on defense here. University of Hartford against Madison Wolfpack, even game currently at 1-1. Let's see what they decide to roll out here with, as it seems like it's going to be Super Vader on the on the Sigma, and a longer range comp here. That's then exactly what we called in our mid game, or between games.
I'm gonna take my headset off for half a second and open up my window. I need to
Okay.
check
It's
for
not.
snow.
It is not. I already checked. Well, checking anyway. Our weatherman, uh, having a look outside. Does he find any that I did not find seconds ago? More in a second, as we have a reporter coming back from the front lines. Eric Culver, was there any snow outside?
No, I have unbelievably tragic news for all the fans at home. We are
Oh, no.
currently getting rain down here in Norwalk. All the Hartford fans are celebrating and rejoicing in the fresh snow while we are wallowing away in the rain.
Yeah, the solid gusts of winds as well as the amount of moisture and humidity in the air coming from the ocean that we live so close to, not making it easy to snow. It doesn't mean that when snow does fall, though, it's going to be warm and wet, which is exciting.
Oh, Nift finds the first blood, finds the second blood.
Sorry, the third one.
Third blood, I guess. Blue finds the Storm Arrow headshots. But come based, just the two of these are just pumping out the headshots.
Yeah, and these are great snipers.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Now, you can't always 100% rely on just a sniper finding a headshot. Specifically, your snipers finding 3 headshots every fight. But these players are typically good for 1, which will give you a massive advantage. But as I say that, Nift gets taken out. Now, Super Vader forced off the high ground. That's a powerful rock into the face of the Sigma shield.
Yeah, denying their 8 ability, denying them the extra shields is really, really important, but they are going to have to cede this ground as their Widow does go down, not finding any picks, sadly. The Madison team playing incredibly aggressive and walking directly into a headshot. TMG going down to become base as he goes on a slight off angle here. Blackout finding another. It's off angle, negated for a second, but still able to hit the geometry when it comes to that E-scatter arrow, and the Widow is back, finding one onto Rhino. Super Vader finishing off his parity on the other team. As Widow's going to move back into sightlines. They want to try and keep this angle, maybe not holding up on that bridge high ground, especially with the speed at which Madison is playing, but a couple shots could be huge, especially with this fight, or this, wow, I completely forgot the name of the ultimate, the Widow ultimate, coming online right now. Infrasights.
Now, just looking for these shots, Sigma Shield's going to block off a lot of his potential damage. Window actually coming out on the side of Madison Wolfpack finds the railgun through the window just for a free body shot kill. Window on the side from Orimoru just keeping his team alive and giving Become Base an absurd damage amplification. What would have been a final blow gets saved by an immortality field. Nift almost back, trying to make some magic happen, but as I say that, it's Super Vader doing the magic. Well,
never mind.
Swap that back. Nift, the magician, finding up just clean headshots. The two of them dominating Madison, and Madison College now left with only 1:15 to make a final push. But they have a large ultimate bank.
And the best and most important part of any magic trick is deception and misplaced perceptions on the part of the person that you're showing the trick. And if the person showing the trick to is Madison, the two-handed approach is definitely Super Vader and Become Based. I was gonna say Nift, as Nift came back and got 2 in the last headshot. Last fight. Become Based starting off this one though, very strong, as they're gonna be stuck in this corridor. Deep down sidelines, Super Vader's going to be able to find another, but that overclock comes on the side of Oxygen, headshotting Nift. Trauma taking out Orimoru, and that's going to have to force a trance from the side of Blackout. Not absorbing a lot of damage, but at the very least keeping them in the fight. Super Vader's going to have to go big here. That Discord Orb still on that Sojourn. They got to use it before that Zen goes down, as that Zen gets hunted by Trauma. Oxygen finding another one to Become Base, and now Super Vader's completely by himself. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull out any more magic.
It doesn't seem like he will. Nift, the last hope for Hartford, but Sigma Shield comes up and blocks all of his, desired sight lines. And Madison able to take the first checkpoint and start rolling up the hill.
Absolutely, and the rest of these checkpoints are going to become more and more difficult for a Widow due to the sight lines. Now, I do believe that Nift is absolutely capable of doing it, but it may force a swap like the Sojourn on the side of Madison here. Oxygen on the side of Madison here. Swap over to the Sojourn. That's a large play. Not only having headshot, one-shot capabilities like a Widow, but much more speed.
I have a strong. There it is.
Oh, there it is. It goes directly onto the Baptiste. The Baptiste displaced as well. Could be large. The Baptiste brought incredibly low. This is the Des Moines Classic. Not finding any, sadly, as Oxygen is able to take out Blackout. Trauma goes down as well, and there's no emo on the side of UHart. Also for the side of Madison, though. This one's too.
That's just gonna. Oh, Super Vader gets taken out in the middle of his flux. Become Base. You
Wow.
can see the arrow going through his temple. Oh, that's got to be painful.
Wow. Infrasight's providing an X-ray shot of a piece of wood going through Baptiste's head, and yeah, that's brutal. The Baptiste fans at home are going crazy.
Ooh, we have a Widow duel. We have a Widow duel on our hands. Blue opting to swap off of the, I believe they were on Hanzo, opting to switch over to the Widowmaker for our second checkpoint here. Very aggressive grapple, just getting straight into their faces. Orimaru with the window online, trying to keep his team alive, jumps over the wall, manages to save him as Become Base falls in exchange for it. A great, yeah.
Totally slid off the cart, sadly.
But a little dicey here. Still playing very patiently, opting to not use his ultimate. Become Based launches the dragon from spawn, finds one with it, but I don't see that really getting any of the value he'd be hoping for. I would have liked to have seen Orimaru pull out the amplification matrix early on in that fight, just to give some space control for the side of Hartford, but he opts to hold on to it. So they'll still have it coming into this next fight. It's going to be their only ultimate with a window and a Sigma Flux, as well as sights for the side of Madison.
Wow, and that was a wide peak on the side of the Widow for Madison. However, traded is Oxygen for Orimaru. The sights are online for Blue. He's going to be able to peek this corner slow enough to be able to kill Nift.
Couldn't find the button for it. Still has sights on the Widow. Widow almost, Nift almost finds the pick on him despite the sights.
As the Stigma gets lifted up incredibly low, is going to be brought down. Become Base going down with him, but Nift fights too. Perfect headshots. Is taken out by a body shot from Blue though, as the card is going to meagerly saunter into the point here. No healers though. Definitely possible for there to be a retouch as Become Base comes back on the Tracer, not wanting to swap off the Sigma there as the Flux comes through. Flux, I believe, taking up the Sigma, but maybe not enough, as he does manage to find Oxygen, but still technically down one as there's no DPS. So low, save for the Immortality.
Still one! Raider manages to take him out. Oh, we see the Nift Shin coming out, just pumping through this Baptiste window. And it looks
Gave
like...
the Sigma 600 health.
Looks like with the assistance of the Become Base Tracer, they're gonna be able to hold for a final fight situation.
Sorry, excuse the yawns. This is nothing if not an exciting match to be watching. This is a sleep schedule talking through the yawns. We get some beautiful camera angles, a little change of scenery. As we get down into the last 5 seconds here, Madison is going to have to touch, secure at least overtime as their Tracer rushes in, securing that for them, but a huge rock onto the Sigma. Not one available for the Flux Up, as the Flux Up does take out Orimaru, not able to put down the key Immortality just fast enough. Blackout finds one though. Their Tracer down. Rhino trading, however, for his parity as Become Base takes out Rhino. An aggressive fight on the point here. Incredibly low, no heals.
Needs to find him. Orimaru swaps over to Lucio, just trying to stall for any time he can get. Kiriko not able to teleport to them in time. And Madison able to take control of the objective with time to spare.
Yeah, and that was a good push by Madison, staying in there in a difficult situation with many down. Very strong-headed and a good knowledge for the Tracer to swap ahead of time to be able to touch there, as I don't think the Sigma was going to be able to. And a good use of ultimates as well. University of Hartford had great picks, but not as influential as they needed it to be. And Madison able to take it there with 0 time on the clock, but that's not going to change much, as they are automatically going to get a minute, regardless of the amount of time that UHart has to finish time with. But the more the merrier, definitely in an instance like this, as we get to see University of Hartford's first attack. Hopefully they come out with a large level of aggression and help negate the deficit in defense that we saw in Paraíso from Madison College.
I have a feeling that Hartford's going to be able to push through the first objective faster than Madison was, but I'm a little nervous for third. Third is notorious for being just a I don't know the word I'm looking for, just a death sentence for most attacking teams. Capturing the third checkpoint can just be impossible sometimes.
Yeah, and the flow swap when it comes to third point Circuit Royale is major. Definitely very difficult to overcome, but it can just be a couple headshots that can make all the difference. As the exact same comp is going to come out here on the side of University of Hartford, and not the starting comp, but the comp that they ended on the side of Madison, with a Widow on the side of Blue, and Sojourn on the side of Oxygen. Missed headshots for now, but he's really just looking for this Widow. Trying to make sure that he takes the Contemporary out of the fight, but he finds the Baptiste instead, jumping a little too high for that shield. That's a huge pick, a lot of heals going down immediately, and forcing the Widow out of position. That could be very large for the side of University of Hartford. As Super Vader is able to find another. They do manage to get to the corner. Are they able to crest it and get all the way around, though?
It might be possible if they can play like a poking style, because they are down the Zenyatta. They have a Discord advantage as well as just generic healing advantage. As long as Blackout is able to stay alive, he's in an awkward position. But Nift over here takes out the enemy Widow, and that's just another dominant advantage provided for Hartford on the side of the DPS, on the back of the DPS rather.
Wow,
Just,
and the DPS continuing to go off.
Trauma,
As
able to find
Nift
one,
is down.
become base, picks off perhaps all of the remaining players. Widowmaker comes back, finds another kill onto Orimoru, but they make the smart play, use their grapple, run away. I've got some bars, but they don't go that hard. Duh.
Okay, well, we're stretching it a little bit, as I do have actual analysis, and I just realized something incredibly powerful about the duo of Become Base and Nift on the same team is just Nift, sorry. There's actually no analysis, there is just Nift getting headshots, as he finds this other little disgusting little angle. Goes up on the Widow, only takes a body. Discord not coming in fast enough to potentially have provided more damage there, but Nift goes right back up, kills Blue, and that's another patented Demoy alt Overwatch moment. Did deposition the Zenyatta, but man, that ultimate. If you allow me, sorry, to go back to what I was actually trying to say. Jeez, he just keeps on getting kills. Nift and Demoy become based, working together. The Hanzo with the 10-second cooldown, I believe, on the sonar arrow is so huge. It's essentially a pocket, very directed infra sights that the Widow has on cooldown, and it's there all of the time. And Become Base is so good at putting them in influential positions that they just make it so easy for Nift to find headshots, and that synergy between the two of them is going very hard at this moment, as they do get into third, and you can see the slowdown in speed. The tempo has grinded to a halt.
Nift,
Oh, and it's starting back up. Sorry. It's starting back up again.
Nift doesn't care about your tempo, Mr. Peter Get Corn. He's just
Nift said fuck your tempo. And that's on me for doubting him and not being a true believer, as I should always be.
Okay. Only ultimate online is gonna be Trauma at the beginning of this next fight. But Blackout is getting quite close to the Transcendence, which if he builds this online, it will be able to save the team from Trauma's gravitic flux, but the flux comes out early. And he's 15% away, but Become Base finds two in the back line. What is going on? Oxygen finally able to take him out. The Immortality Field there to save the team. Oh, Super Vader got brought dangerously low.
He goes past the shield.
Past the shield, but oh, the Transcendence, powerful, potentially game-saving play from Blackout, but the counter Transcendence unable to find any kills. Dragon's coming straight on.
It's going down main. They're not moving out of the way. They're just gonna face this.
Blackout. Oh no! Blackout tries running away, and now it's just Orimoru and Become Based trying to find, well, whatever they can find, really. But they get taken out at the end.
Yeah, fighting for scraps with 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the time bank. Definitely one of the most bougie options ever. Speaking of bougie options, Madison College deciding to swap onto the Junkrat. Junkrat incredibly busted and handsome at the same time. Definitely needs to be taken out of the game. Oxygen also getting off the Widow and swapping onto the Hanzo here. Definitely an interesting position to be in. Would only be effective if UHart is stupid enough to approach this from up top, as Super Vader is.
As you say,
but it does not matter.
Seems that they're approaching this from the top. And, well, they're just going to clear the side ground. The Junkrat might be able to put some massive damage out, but with
he gets deep position.
with no tank up there to really protect him, It does not make a difference.
Wow, University of Hartford with a really solid rotation here. Nift following it up with incredible body shots and headshots. I believe Nift is the only one that's actually gotten any kills in this last fight. Immortality protecting 2 on the right side, but that's going to be both of the final members of Madison College going down. And that's University of Hartford finishing off with, I believe, a time bank of actually 3 minutes and 15 seconds, brought up to 3 minutes and 49. Those are the scraps that they were fighting over.
I believe Madison capped with 0 time left.
They did. So I believe both teams must have got a minute, in which case they capped with 2 minutes and 49. But that's huge for the University of Hartford. They have a huge time bank. They get to not have to stress about attacking again, though I don't think that they would actually be too worried about it. But they get the opportunity to slow down, defend real quick, and hopefully put themselves in a really good advantage for this 3 minute and 50-second time bank for them to abuse and just have to push it a small, short distance.
Now, I am very surprised by the composition we're seeing the Madison College Wolfpack pulling out right now. We're seeing the classic meta comp of the Winston, Reaper, Sojourn, Lucio, and Kiriko. And, well, Hartford's just sticking to what they've been running, and it's been working. Capping with such a powerful time bank, giving themselves a 2.5 minute advantage for the attack phase. And do you remember how much time Madison captured the first checkpoint with? If I remember right, it was only like a minute or two. I believe Hartford stalled them for a long time.
On first, they stalled them at least a good fight and a half, I believe, which is pretty big on this first point. Only a minute is definitely not going to be the best time bank for Madison, as this new comp could be the game changer, though, as they come in and really aggressive, but Nick just finds a headshot immediately. No consistent shield, no ability to negate, no mitigation factor, and they barely get to the corner before they're essentially going to have to fall back out of this fight. Yeah, Madison College not coming out on the best.
So during scrimmage with Hartford recently, they were put in a similar situation where Hartford was playing this Winston composition against, it was an in-house, against their own team playing the Sigma poke composition. Now it largely just comes down to the dive composition of Madison, being able to close that distance before the snipers and the Sigma can find substantial damage in final blows.
Yeah, and having to swap back over to that dive-centric style is definitely a hindrance on the side of Madison here, as they're down. Winston the only one on cart, one coming back on the side of Sombra. Might be able to do something as they bring down that Sigma incredibly low, but the Sigma still has hands. He still got hands. As they're still low, Nift is able to find a headshot, and yeah, when we talk about become based in Nift, these are snipers that aren't just good in sniper duels, but also great at blowing up tanks, getting those kills onto, you know, frivolous targets, your low HP targets. And that's going to be the game changer, especially in a meta-defining moment like that. Current meta versus the map meta going head-to-head. And map meta and better snipers definitely do win in an instance like this. The meta can't be that strong.
I'm wondering what's going on in Madison College's head right now. Do they opt to run it back, or do they make the I'll say more standard decision of playing the map meta? And we see Oxygen on the Widowmaker, Rhino on the swapping over to the Zen, and now we see the composition they've been running for the majority of the game. And I will say, I think if they chose to run this on their attack, I think they would have found more success.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that a little bit of the stutter step there in the decision making when it came to the Lucio, as well as not everybody picking immediately, shows a little bit of hesitation and maybe a little bit into the framework that they're working in mentally, as to their lack of conviction when it comes to using this composition as a whole. It's interesting to note, however, that they were the ones that chose this map, even though they were the first ones to swap off the Widow. So that's definitely interesting. They are going to be holding back on bridge here. Pretty much a ditto as Nift kills him?
He's dead.
What?
Rest in peace, Widow. Niftomaker on the run in your backline.
And they don't even have to do anything yet.
Oh,
but they still do. But they still do.
And it was just a 2v5 now?
Yeah. They have a Sig, they have a Zen. They have to use all of their CDs to even just hold this position where the cart has to go. The Widow is back, but
Don't do it.
Nift's gonna find him immediately. Give me those tools, boy!
Oh!
Absolutely dominating the competition here, as that's going to be 3 on card to finish off this Circuit Royale. I don't know what came over me there, but I don't know what came over Nift as well. That was incredible.
Give me them toes. And, I mean, without their toes, Nift is able to just kill him.
Yeah. All of that blend coming out, definitely a huge detriment. But this is going to be a play of the game from Demoy, from Become Based. An incredible dragon to finish off 1, and I think 2, 3 more? 3 more? 3 more?
Whose play of the game was that?
Oh, sorry. They were red, and it confused me. That is my apologies. It was actually a play of the game on the side of Madison Wolfpack.
Oxygen.
Oxygen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oxygen kind of popping off the dragon. We remember seeing a bit of a misplay from, I believe it was Blackout on the Zenyatta.
Yeah, and however, I don't think it was overall a misplay that ended that map, as UHart Red does go up 2-1 to Madison Wolfpack, making it an interesting one and going in aggressively here, as there's no longer time constraints, no longer time to ponder your orb on the side of University of Hartford. As orb pondering done, it is slaying time as we head into New Queen Street. This is exciting.
I'm personally, I'm not the biggest fan of New Queen Street. It's not my least favorite map, but
It's not your favorite.
I just don't have success on it. I don't know why. Like, it's like I just win more on other maps, and it's kind of in my head now. Whenever I play New Queen Street, I'm like, oh, it's this map that I lose on. Well, I should amend that. I don't always lose on it, but I feel like I often start out with a massive like disadvantage as far as cart push goes, and then I need to will my team into a just unbelievable comeback. I think
whenever you play, you're not a first fight Federico, you know.
My biggest comebacks in Overwatch in general have all been on New Queen Street, and it's only been out for a month.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way about this map. Definitely one where the first fight is really important, but it's not the end-all be-all. You can definitely come back from it, but that mental state, a lot of people will definitely be geeked about the position of having to play New Queen Street. Let's see if it affects the University of Hartford here. Side does not matter all that much, as we have an equal map siding here. Madison does get there first, however. I wonder if there was a TP in place there. But they're equal on position, as Nift managed to find a headshot onto blue here. Madison not looking as strong as they did in the past, meagerly holding this position up on the high ground, taking damage and just sitting behind a bubble. Trauma, however, is able to find Become Base, not long enough though to defend against Nift, getting a headshot onto TMG. They do get control over the robot, but this is looking like a first fight win for the University of Hartford, however elongated it is by Trauma, honestly, doing huge things, getting 2 kills.
Alright, now if
Almost
Madison can come back and stall this, they'll have the advantage. Oh, and it's gone. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
The thoughts of push definitely pervading the minds of everybody here, as the spawns are so far away. The University of Hartford only has 4 players. They probably should look to disengage, or at least know when their support is going to be back in time. Please tell me they hit the bell. Hit the bell. Hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Where'd it go?
Where is it?
Oh, I can't go over the roof.
No, you can't go! It looks so close! Oh, as we're unable to see it, Oxygen managed to find a headshot on the Become Base, as they do manage to, they take the fight for some odd reason.
Yeah.
Little tomfoolery, but at the end of the day, they do manage to get 3 out. That could be helpful, especially with them being so closer to spawns. The advantage is still University of Hartford's.
The biggest issue during that is that I think they needed to send Blackout on the Lucio back to the spawn to give Orimaru a teleportation target. Get him back to the fight quicker, and they'll also have that speed boost. But they just forced their own Sojourn, or Kiriko, to run the entire way. And now,
yeah, that teleport not going as long as people think.
We see Nift just bodying Madison right now. He is heating up. We've seen Nift. He's often turns out he's kind of a bit of a hot or cold player, and he is hot right now.
And that hot and cold analogy definitely doesn't mean that he's streaky. It just definitely does mean when he's heated up, it's going to take him a while to disperse all that heat. And it could be influential here as they are up one map and close to making it an absolute match of the ages as they're coming from every direction. Madison engaging incredibly strong. The beat comes out, but Oxygen is taken down before it happens.
Ults are being thrown by everyone on every side. Super Vader has the primal, juggles him around, but Become Base dies in the middle of his ultimate. Oh my
EMG managed to find it, but he trades it for 2, and that's a soul for a soul for a soul.
Winston.
And that's a bargain at half the price for the University of Hartford. Because they get the point too.
And what didn't get used during that fight? Overclock and Death Blossom. Maybe
No,
the
Overclock came out on the side of Oxygen.
no, the Hartford Overclock.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps the Winston and Death Blossom from Madison. Super Vader brought to 1 HP. He barely lives with his life. They're back in a 5v5 situation, but they're in a massive health disadvantage right now. But as I
Never
say,
mind, but that doesn't matter.
They have NIFT OW FPS on their team. What is that shot?
That's an FPS shot, baby.
This man is an Overwatch first-person shooter. Frames per second gamer.
Wow, and if I could just make an address, a plead, if you will, to the Guangzhou Charge, please pick up this man. He is so good at the video game, and would be a great addition to any roster, whether it be Tier 2 or your main team, where he would absolutely shine on the Overwatch League scene. But back in NACE Star League right here, University of Hartford has a huge advantage with 5 minutes left. They're either going to have to try and finish it or take smart disengage fights as the Blossom comes in incredibly heavy. That's a 3-piece right there, seen all the way from Kansas. Oh.
I don't know if they had no idea it was coming or if they just didn't have, like... I'm out of left for words. I don't know. They just got bodied by it.
Listen, my grandma's rods and cones are gone, but she probably could have seen that roll coming from a mile away, as the University of Hartford doesn't have any response to it, but that fast disengagement by dying quickly could be everything, as they only get halfway with the robot. Madison is still at a disadvantage, especially if they want to hold in this position here. It's an aggressive position to hold, as the Winston goes behind him. Kiriko not healing him, but not necessarily to heal whatever target he's on.
Blue takes out Super Vader just immediately. No, Kitsune Rush could find a lot of value, but the overclock just dominating.
And just getting a stray invite there, as the University of Hartford does lose a team fight there, and it looks like it's going to be a cap, but it gives a great advantage to the University of Hartford if it caps whilst they're still in the process of respawning. They do actually get instant spawns back. This Winston's going in hefty, as he uses the primal. Trauma still in the backline here, opting to take a fight very deep in their backline, taking a giga amount of damage as Nift managed to find a headshot on the tiny meat gang, and Trauma dies! They have the point advantage, they have forward spawns, but they're not going to be able to overcome the deficit here. The bot doesn't go far enough as the University of Hartford gets the cart back.
They did get the respawn checkpoint, which is going to be monumental for a recontest here, but that being said, Nift pushing really far.
Maybe forgetting about those spawns.
Now, ultimate advantage is pretty close to equal. Blue, well...
Ooh, but the timing is going to be the difference maker as Become Base manages to find one, displacing the Winston on the other side and managing to finish him off afterwards. Blackout finding Blue, and though a beat from Rhino, it wasn't good enough because it didn't go around the corner. That was a really well-positioned ultimate on the side of Become Base, managing to split off 2 to 3 of the team members of Madison College, and that was really, really influential, and that's going to give them a little bit of progress here on the cart, and honestly a lot more, especially if they hold this position as well as they seem to be setting up for. They do disengage, but even a couple seconds after getting the on-the-move call, Trauma dropping in with the Reaper, Oxygen may be able to finish off the headshot, but Nift trades it right back.
That was a massive play by Orimuru on the Kiriko. He found the, he was prepared for it that time. Oh, I don't know about Kitsune. I can't tell how many of his team's alive, but
a double ult announcement.
Well, if you have Nift alive, ultimates are always worth it. And because of it, they turned that fight around. Fantastic play. But as I was saying, Orimuru was prepared for the Death Blossom. It's the same situation as last time, but he was ready for it, and he had the Kitsune, or sorry, the Suzu milk bottle to keep his team alive.
Don't call it that. And it was incredibly influential to see how you go from a player who's never played this role at all to then learning fight to fight how to deal with a problem. I mean, that's just huge come-ups, a great show of malleability, as actually they're in a very horrendous position right now. UHart split completely in their old spawners, or their forward spawns of Madison. Half of them fighting backwards. What is Become Base doing here?
What's Become Base doing?
No, he charges ultimate. He walks down, gets 2 headshots, charges ultimate, then pops it on cart. No, never mind, he's gonna wait 3 fights and then die in stagger.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, sorry,
Right,
the script got changed halfway through.
At least get the
Get the mini, you're low. Bro, get the mini. Get the shmini.
Get the mini.
Get the shmini.
Get
Get
the
the shmini.
Get the shmini.
Get the shmini.
Alright.
What is this?
Interesting decision making. But, you know,
Passively waiting
I
for his
kinda
ult to
like it.
charge.
I kinda like it. Super Vader, close to his ultimate, but Become Base is just out of this fight while his teammates are dying. He has the ultimate almost online, finds one.
Ooh, does this dual soldier without it though?
Goes
Ooh,
for
goes
the
for the
solo.
solo, right?
Honestly worth.
Worth, value.
I don't like
Value.
the execution, but the final result is massive all the same. He finds 2 for it. Now, if Madison chooses to stay and continue this fight, they're going to be in a 3v5. And, well,
Yep.
as you see,
3v5.
3v5s are hard to win. As, well, it's 4v5 now. I'm confused how math works, but Nift just takes off Oxygen's head and takes another one. And make it a 3rd? Perhaps so.
Goes to Nift, however, taking out his own parodies. Become Base is going to come back on the Tracer. We're within a minute here. 99 meters push on the side of Hartford. They're going to have to start playing some games here as they have to deal with forward spawns on the side of Madison. And they get close to this end corner. But they're probably not going to be able to finish off this map fully. The biggest thing here is going to be mitigating the fallout of an aggressive push. And doing so slowly with only a minute left on the clock. Actually dwindling down to 30 seconds.
Madison is in a position where they need to win 2 fights in a row to win this game. And that Death Blossom is completely negated by the sound barrier. Oh, Nift just trying to mess them up. The massive primal isn't quite enough. The beat saves their life. And oh, the Super Vader is just gonna do everything he can to live while what's going on again? What are we doing?
Again. He's doing it again.
He's gonna passively charge his pulse bomb. This one's
Admin, he's doing it
harder to
backwards.
charge. Or sorry, a little harder to land.
Comes out connector. He comes out connector like an absolute speed demon. Admin, he's doing it sideways as once again. Never mind. Woo!
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, it was cooler that time, but we are in dangerous waters as it's only 10 meters away. You know, Hartford can't decide. Do we push? Do we try to fight this, or what do we do? And the only 2 surviving members of Hartford fall. Nift falls, and I gotta say, I did not like that play. I did not like it the first time. I did not like it the second time. Become Based went on a massive flank, and as he was on this flank, he's the critical character to keep his front line alive, to scare the opposition away. But when he's off on a flank, they are just free to push. And both times, a member from Hartford fell before Become Based had time to make its play. And because of it, we're now going into a map 5 during this playoff series. Which
Hartford puts themselves at such a huge disadvantage by going to this map 5. They lost the first one on control. They're probably going to have a similar level of difficulty when it comes to control just because of the way that Madison plays. And my aggravation currently when it comes towards that play, Become Base did it twice. It worked slightly better the second time, but like you said, there was no frontline mitigation because you don't have the Reaper, you don't have the Sojourn with the information to be able to back it up, nor do you have the rest of the team engaging fast enough to make that Pulse Bomb be more effective. That Pulse Bomb would have killed 4 right there if the Suzu wasn't available. And the Suzu is available because they didn't gauge at the same time. Their Sojourn just goes in and feeds immediately, and they don't have the ability to actually have impact with that pulse. Nor did they have enough members alive after the pulse to actually follow up on the lack of Suzu. And all of that combined is tragic. Definitely a little hurtful on the side of any UHart fan, but University of Hartford's going to have to pull it back here as we are probably heading into Oasis as our final control map to finish off this best of 5, map 5, between the University of Hartford and Madison College Wolfpack.
Currently trying to get a big post in the in the University of Hartford esports Discord server, just announcing and spreading the word that we're entering a map 5 in the playoffs, and it's absolutely winnable, but it's certainly losable, and I would love to see Hartford fans coming out and supporting in their hour of need.
Absolutely, and I will say, I think that a really cool thing, a cool and cute thing that I saw recently, for any League fans out there watching right now, when League matches go, as all League matches are, best of 5, if they go to map 5, and in person, League fans will start crawling out, crying to the gods, singing Silver Scrapes, the melody to Silver Scrapes, a very influential League of Legends song in the community. One of the first original songs that they made for League of Legends Worlds, I believe all the way back in 2012 or 2011, don't quote me on that, but it is one of the first world songs ever made for them. Overwatch doesn't have something like that. We don't have a map 5 meme, we don't have a map 5 tiebreaker joke or song to play, and if you in the chat or you at home watching this on YouTube would like to help us come up with it, hit in the comments, get in the chat, let us know what is Overwatch's or Overwatch 2's map 5 meme or reference that we can come up with. I think it would be really interesting to see maybe one from our previous grand finals in Overwatch League that we saw, a very, very amazing moment in Overwatch history as we saw grand finals go to map 7, but map 7 to map 5 slightly different, similar vibe though, so maybe we'll be able to come up with something. And yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the sub button, hit a like, make a comment. If you are watching on Twitch, follow, sub, prime sub for free, take some money out of Papa Bezos's bank account, and yeah, support the channel that is supporting the University of Hartford. We do all of this through funds provided by viewers like you, as we head into this map 5 on Oasis between Madison College and University of Hartford.
Initiating match.
I'm so excited. This is going to be so much fun.
Man, I'm so excited, and I don't think I can hide it.
What am I looking at? What does changing this do? I am playing with settings I haven't seen before.
Well, you gotta try something new and spicy. Yeah. We gotta do something spicy because it's very unlikely that either of these teams do anything spicy. We're gonna be looking at meta picks from both teams here. Slightly maybe off meta if Madison decides to opt back into the TP out of spawn, but that will only change positional things, not changing the characters that they are actually playing.
I don't know what this does.
Maybe stop messing with the settings.
I will not. Now,
Okay.
we see, as you mentioned, all of the same basic comps coming out from both sides. But Hartford gets, I think they get positioning early, but they're forced out quickly by a couple great headshots from Blue on the Reaper. Alpha Combe is brought dangerously low. And they've completely lost this high ground advantage. I can't tell what the cooldown. Well, okay, Nif. Okay, Nif. Oxygen.
Oh, okay, Oxygen.
Oxygen finds a second, and he has the rail. He has the rail. Looking for something. Oh, he gets booped, and that's gonna be first fight going in favor of the Madison Wolfpack.
Yeah, and the Madison Wolfpack having the not only the high ground position there, but actually, sorry, just this high ground position. That was just a very poor fight positioned by the University of Hartford as they decided to continue to slam their head through that corridor up a ramp of death and destruction, potentially opting to go from the outside or look for an off angle, something that Hartford excels at and needs to be doing a little bit more, especially on a map like this. Going through Hookah to stairs is going to be very, very difficult, as Nif does hit a pretty good slow field, preventing them from backing up, but they go all the way down the stairs. How's University of Hartford going to deal with it? That's how they're going to deal with it. Actually,
That's
Nift is
how
going to hit a
they'll
headshot.
They'll just say, hey, Nift, go kill one for us. And another great body shot coming into Rhino. Brought dangerously low, but he's going to be able to kite just for a second. Well, Nift just saying, hey, no, I don't lose game 5s. I'm here for it. Primal Rage on the side of Madison, just trying to disrupt them around a little. But
they
Super
still haven't
Vader
let flip.
on the exact same footing, trying to just juggle them around. Trauma now, I think, sole survivor. As well as the Kiriko.
Kiriko takes
So
high ground.
with the Reaper's back now. Reaper and Kiriko.
He's actually
Kiriko falls.
losable.
Just the Reaper. Reaper dead. I just find myself shot calling in the middle of the game as if I'm in their team's
I
comms.
think I'm too stressed to cast. I think I'm actually just too stressed to cast. Like,
This is a match.
this is
70%.
an aggressive match.
70% for Madison. Hartford has a large ultimate economy. Looking probably to overclock at the beginning of this fight. Here we go. Just trying to force them into this tunnel. Stalling them. I can't tell if they're down a member. Trying to give some time. Doesn't matter at the end of the day because it is what it is and it has been done.
Nift keeping the rail, has the option, decides not to use it. Yeah, he's confused as well as we are as to where they're coming from. They all go incredibly fast, incredibly aggressive. They immediately take high ground, negating any sort of hold in that staircase, but they go back into the staircase. They enter the staircase of doom!
Become based, making game-changing plays out here on this Reaper. Now Lucio, only one that remains as he takes a little tumble off the cliff like our good friend Aragorn did in The Lord of the Rings.
Okay, wow. And I get bullied for making references to League of Legends. Actually, no, I said it out loud, and yeah, no, that's fair, that's fair. I'll take back my statement.
Now, Kitsune Rush and Sound Barrier online for the University of Hartford. The Rush comes out, pushes it straight down into this hallway, but
Does the Rush not go up the lip?
it doesn't climb up this hill, and
It can climb up the lip.
that's massive Sound Barrier.
Beat so high! He almost didn't get the Winston in time. Beat does come out and Become Base goes down to Blue's Reaper ultimate. Still alive though, but Super Vader goes down right afterwards. Blue taken and Names not caring at all, but gets body shot by Nift. Sent to the stratosphere.
They're gonna be able to save this baby. Oh my god, Nift dangerously low. It's just supports trying to
What?
this
Hoping
out.
it's Reeve pops the ultimate. He has 50 HP. Does he think he can turn this?
He finds one. Oh, has this bubble to play around, but this Winston's just gonna completely ignore him, I
Disengage?
guess. What?
Oh,
Now
he goes
Super
back
Vader
for a one
pulls the
swing of the
ultimate
fist.
their own. Oh, this is pure chaos. This is pure chaos. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what to do. They use the overclock, and that's huge for the University of Hartford. Now is a good time for them to back out. 70 seconds left on the clock. They have 30 seconds remaining. They just back out, rebreathe. That was an overclock for an overclock, essentially. And that means that they're not going to have it on the side of Madison College going in here. This could be huge.
Ultimate advantage is now favoring Hartford because they wasted that overclock. Become Base is 20% away. Orimuru has a 10% advantage compared to TMG. And they're going in.
TP during a distraction.
TP pushes straight into the Winston, finds 2 free headshots as Nif finds a body shot, finds a second one, Blackout puts the shots into the Reaper, and now he's getting chased around, but he's not gonna die. Kiriko, all that remains, and Hartford is gonna take round number 1 of our Map 5 series.
It's an absolute nail biter. I'm down to the cuticles at this point and running out of options. So University of Hartford is going to have to make this a 2-mapper if I am to regain any form of sanity that I had in my previous life. That was an incredibly aggressive play all around from every single member of the University of Hartford, not only investing Primal, but Overclock at 50 HP and then teleporting in the last fight. Finding the Reaper Blossom, being able to get a couple kills between Nift and Become Base, transitioning in and out of the fight, perfectly synced like ballerinas. An incredible play overall from the University of Hartford. Very, very well managed, and even though it went to 99-99, University of Hartford finds it in the end, and we get on to University.
University, I'll be honest, I can very much imagine Hartford struggling on University. I know they've just like the close range maps. Well, Never mind. I said nothing. Nift is cracked and he hits his shots.
Yeah, I
Forget
heard
said
nothing
anything.
actually.
I didn't say anything. It's on
Yeah.
pod that I was silent during the beginning of the map.
Yeah, there was actually an incredible awkward silence that I guess we'll have to go over in contract renegotiations after this match later. My union rep would definitely like to talk to you as there
They
is
don't know
somebody on
this
point.
character.
Yeah, they didn't see her.
Okay.
She dies though, all the same, and only really negating maybe a second or two, taking a second or two off the clock here, but University of Harvard still takes the cap.
I
Still
would,
in a solid position to hold.
in short, I would say that Kiriko stall was not worth.
Yes, I would say it had no value.
Now, Hartford has the Reaper Winston just looking to hold on to this corner. And this is looking strong so far. They have no off angle, but it does not matter. They have the become-based Reaper just pumping his shots into the enemy faces. And he's getting close to an ultimate, as well as Nift. And the two of them, it might just be enough for 2 back-to-back fights, if they play their cards right.
Absolutely, the University of Hartford putting themselves in a solid position, not only ult-wise, but positioning as well. I mean, just look at the ult deficit across the board here. Not a single member of the Madison College above 70% out of their ultimate. Everybody on the University of Hartford well above 50, now well above 70. Each one of them as... Wait a second. Trauma swaps over to Zarya.
Trauma swaps to the Zarya, and Super Vader gets gunned down, but...
Zarya is very low, and that
Doesn't
rush blossom is maybe the baddest I've seen. Oh my god!
Lord! Become based, and Orimuro good for 4 as Nift finds the 5th one. That's just a domination of
What
an
was he
combo.
cooking? What was he cooking?
Now,
That was beautiful.
now I will say, dangerous waters now for the side of Hartford. If Trauma can build his charge as quickly as he did in that previous fight, he has he DC'd.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Trauma might be in reference to the brain trauma taken during these fights. Seems to just be a disconnect here. The DX called out from Oxygen. Seems like there was just a problem with the game server. Classic Overwatch moment as mentioned. And we are rejoining, but that's a tragic thing to see. Remember, it does ride. We don't restart the match. We don't do anything special here. The University of Hartford at a clear advantage in this fight, as their Trauma's just not going to be in it. They're not going to have a tank. They're going to have to disengage back to spawn, unless, of course, Trauma spawns in where he last was. But I believe that's a scrim code edition, something that only happens in game workshops. This is an official match, and for Madison College, this is going to be a reset on their side. I wonder if Trauma's going to come back on the Zarya. We'll have to see, though.
As I was about to say, a massive ultimate advantage on the side of the Madison Wolfpack. And Hartford's only going to have a Primal Rage and a Sound Barrier to negate them all. But if they push this right now with a 5v4 advantage, you could do one of two things. You could, one, force out an ultimate or two, or just get even one kill is going to add an extra 10-second respawn timer, forcing a chaotic final fight.
However, University of Hartford opting to play tepidly, allowing their team, their opposing team, to regain their composure. Potentially a foolish maneuver, but that's going to be an overclock on the side of Oxygen. Immediately going in, going to half HP immediately. Beat coming out on the side, and Super Vader propping the primal, getting one.
Nift finds one, and now it's a 5v3. Death Blossom, absolutely no purchase, thanks to a fantastic boop from Super Vader. And Lucio, all that remains as Hartford takes them out. He is the last man standing for Madison as Tracer, unable to get the point.
Body blocked.
The University of Hartford finishes it out in a clean back-to-back. Was it back-to-back 100 to zeros?
I do believe that was a the first one was 199.
199. But this was a clean 100 to 0. And Hartford is now moving on to round 3 of the NACE Open Plus playoff bracket.
And continuing to make organizational history here as the University of Hartford continues on their warpath. They are now the furthest they've ever been into playoffs. This is an incredible match on their part. Getting all the way to a Game 5, clean, very clean. Some adulations coming out on the side of both teams, respecting each other. They knew each other going into the match, and that brought them together. The University of Hartford, even going down a member halfway through, having to opt to having one of their DPS, their sub DPSs come in on the support, and I think they did a fantastic job. And I think if I were to memorialize any member for this performance today, I think it would be Orimoru or Joseph on the side of University of Hartford doing a very clutch job of being put in a position that I don't envy. I do not envy at all. Difficult one to be put in, but thrive nonetheless. And that was great on the side of University of Hartford.
I couldn't agree more. Now, I have to ask, do you have any interview preference?
For interview, I'm putting on chapstick, so why don't we bring in Nif so he can compliment me on how luscious my lips look.
I will see what I can do.
Thank you. I gotta look good for him.
Oh, we have an app blackout, perhaps.
Oh, potentially.
No,
Is my cam?
no, I think we should have somebody else.
Wait, hello?
I think Nip.
We did call for Nif. If Nif is able to
okay.
get a camera ready for himself.
All
if
right.
I am able to get a camera ready for myself.
I am able to get a camera ready for myself.
Then I'm able to